What's good, family? It's your man, Rickey Getwood Jr., and welcome to the RPGM podcast, where we reprogram your mind so that you can live the life that you want. And I do that by bringing on dope guests, having amazing conversations and real life topics. Today is one of my favorite topics, right? We're going to be talking about building yourself up brick by brick. Right now, here's the thing. I love to talk about just about everything, and you guys know my backstory with bodybuilding and being overweight and being small and being big and being small and big and all over again, right? But I have a special guest today. I'm not gonna tell you who it is just yet, right? But please stay tuned. Make sure you hop on the chat, ask as many questions as you want to. You're going to be informed. You're going to have tons of information. So stay tuned, right? Check it out. I want to give you guys something real quick, right? To get our brains stimulated, right? And I like to do this for myself and for my guests and for you guys as well, too, because I could just jump in and we just start talking, right? But I want to give you guys a quote for the day, right? It's something that I like to live by. I have multiple ways of saying the same exact thing, but I want to give it to you directly. So today I will do what others won't. So tomorrow I can do what others can't. I'm going to say that one more time. That was just deep. Let it marinate for a second. Today, I will do what others won't. So tomorrow, I can do what others can't. Let me tell you what I think about that real quick. I just got to say it real quick, right? Because I realize that if you want to be successful, you just have to do what the other 90% of the people in the world aren't doing, right? So if you ain't going to do it, I know you're not going to be successful. So I'm going to do it, right? And that's what that particular quote means to me right now, right? So let's do this. I want to introduce my guest for today, right? I'm acting like I don't know her at all, all right? Because I've seen her growth. I've seen her over the past 2 years go from looking one way to being a whole nother way, interacting with people, building bonds with family and friends, right? So she is a personal trainer. She's a bodybuilder. She is just an awesome person in general. And I want to bring on my guest, my homie, my friend, Vanessa. Welcome to the show, Vanessa.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling really good, really excited.
I could tell. extra excited. Yeah. What do you think about the quote for the day?
I really like it, and I felt like it really resonated because, I mean, just really in bodybuilding, I mean, at the end of the day, yes, it's you versus you, of course. But it's like, what are you willing to do to get to that next level? You know what I mean? Like, I make sure that my sleep is on point. I make sure that, if I can set myself up for success ahead of time, my meals are set out, my clothes are set out. Like, there's just, absolutely. Like, what are you willing to do to get to that level?
That everybody else wants to do. All right, so we don't give y'all too much. Don't give them
Yes,
too much.
yes.
I can tell we're finna go there already, right? All right, so I got a really cool brain teaser for us, right? So listen to this very carefully. For the record, I do not have the answer, right? So I don't know the answer either.
Okay.
I'm gonna read it very, very slow. I am tall when I am young, and I am short when I am old. What am I? That's actually really good. Okay, all right, I'm gonna read it one more time. All right. I am tall when I am young. I am short when I am old. What am I?
I don't know. I'm like.
Okay, I'm reading one more, maybe the third time's the charm. Because I have a few answers, but it almost kind of like the more I say it to myself, it don't make sense, right? I am tall when I am young. I am short when I am old. What am I? I got it.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm like, why?
Okay.
I'm having the biggest brain fart.
All right. Okay, Bella, tell me if I'm right or wrong. Okay. I'm going to, it's very trivial, but I think it's applicable. I'm just going to say the word young and the word old.
No.
God, dog.
Okay.
All right.
Do you want a hint?
Yes.
Give me a little hint, please.
It is an object.
It's an object?
It's an object.
I thought it was a tree, but I was like, that doesn't make sense.
It's not a living thing. It's an object.
I am tall when I'm young. And it's an object?
Mm-hmm.
Is it something you see in the house every day?
Yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Some people will have them in their house. Some people won't, but they're normal. They're normal to some house.
Okay.
What the heck?
Um,
I'm telling you, when I'm young, I'm short. When I'm old, it's not a flower. Oh man, that's a tough one.
They smell really nice.
Flowers?
No, the object, the answer. They can smell really nice.
they can smell really nice.
Oh. Okay, I got it. It's an incense.
Nope.
Oh, come
You're
on.
close.
Dang it. All right.
A candle?
Yep.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Okay.
Because when you light a candle, it gets lower and
Right.
lower as the wax burns.
I got to give you a slow clap for that one. That was a good one. That actually had me going, right? All right, so we're going to take a very, very, very short break. We'll be right back. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow us. Share with all your friends. We're coming back with some hot stuff, y'all. Peace out. We'll be right back. Good job. That was actually... What's good, y'all? We are back, and obviously, we always have amazing conversations off camera. But we're going to get back into this thing, and we have a segment we like to call Rhythm and Real Talk, right? This is a segment where I pick and choose a song that resonated with me for the day or just something that I couldn't get away from, right? So, my song for today, I woke up, and I typically do my meditation, do my motivational stuff and everything, right? But it just so happened to scroll up on "No Church in a While" by Jay-Z and
Nice.
Kanye, right? So I'm a musician, so I know music, right? But then I actually sit down and listen to the words of the song. I know the song, but I listen to it for real, right? And so like the first verse, the first chorus, right? I'll kind of paraphrase it. He was like, "There, what's a humans to a mob? What's a mob to a king? And what's a king to a god? What's a god to a non-believer? And what's a non-believer to you don't believe anything, right?" But that just made me think about, in general, everything we go through in life. Like you can have all the information that you want, but out there in the wild, there's no church in the wild. There's no like nobody to coddle you and support you. It's all just you, right? So whatever you choose to believe in, how you believe it, wherever particular phase you are in your life. If you were the mob, you may be okay, right?
Yeah.
But if you're a king, that's a whole nother mindset. And if you're a god, that's a whole nother mindset. But if you believe in nothing, that's a whole nother mindset, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you get to pick and choose like how you want to be, but you got to be able to function in real life without your system, right? But there's no church in a while. You're on your own, right? So that's my song. Did you have a song or anything that, like, again, it could be something that motivated you or something that you listen to on a regular basis, or even if you're in the gym, like, what's your thing?
Yeah. Honestly,
Mm,
I mean, to be honest, a lot of times at the gym, I guess when I'm losing kind of a little bit of steam or whatever, I'll listen to like early 2000s music. That honestly always puts me kind of in a good mood.
yeah,
It takes me, I guess, back a little bit and just makes me feel a little nostalgic and just
yeah,
kind of reminds me of like that I do this for me.
right,
And
right,
just like I do it for all the versions of myself, all the previous like versions of myself, and like that's what led me here. So I don't know, it's just
yeah.
very motivating for me. And honestly, sometimes too, like I like so one that kind of comes up to mind, Nelly Furtado, "Man Eater." I think that one is
How's it
she's
go?
a man
Oh, okay,
eater.
okay, okay. Oh,
That one, I love that one. It just when I first listened to it when I was younger, I always like
right, right, right.
jammed to it, and
Yeah.
it just still kind of gives me just renewed energy. Like, no, yeah, no, yeah, this is for me.
Okay.
It just things, I
Yeah.
don't know. It's really what I love about music is just the way that it can instantly change my mind, my mood, my energy.
Right.
And so I like to kind of manipulate, I guess, my brain a little bit
Yeah.
with good music while I'm at the gym.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is all right. Very trivial, but I think somewhat applicable. That song, "Man
Okay.
Eater," right? All right. We know now that you are a bodybuilder,
Mhm.
right? Matter of fact, I'm gonna pause that good question. So
Okay.
I'm gonna pause my statement. But let's get into one obvious thing. How long have you actually been in fitness? Like, how long have you been in
Yeah.
fitness?
I mean, right out of high school. So,
Yeah.
I mean, in, junior high and high school, I played sports, and I knew as soon as I graduated, like, I need something.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, as a kid, you have recess, and as you get older, you get sports, and as an adult, you have the gym. And so
Right.
I immediately started going to the gym at 18, and I just started kind of people watching, and I would see, like, okay, that machine looks good, and that
Right.
machine looks good. And to be honest, I actually, one of my friends was a personal trainer, like kind of right out of high school. So he taught me some things. And so I got
Right.
kind of the ropes of it. And so I did my own thing for about a year, and I kind of got a little stuck there. And I prayed about it, and I was like, God, like, what should I do next? Like, I really enjoy this. And I don't know, like, is there more? I didn't know about bodybuilding actually at that time.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah. And then like literally a week later, I met my first bodybuilding coach. She saw me and she's like, I want to work with you. She's like,
Yeah.
you have a great base. Like, I can make you into bikini. I had no idea what that even meant. I was like, sure, lady, I want to look good in a bikini. Like, let's do it. Like,
Right.
and honestly, that
Yeah.
just kind of really set me off. And
Gotcha.
that's where it started. Like, as far as bodybuilding goes, about 6-7 years ago.
Gotcha. Okay.
Mhm.
So that's a good correlation with that, right? So I play sports as well, right?
Uh-huh.
And I have a not slightly, I have a big different story than yours. I had kids in high school. I played football. I ran track. Not ran track. I threw shot put.
Nice.
Extremely active and powerlifting and everything like that, right? After high school, I had kids. Went right into adulthood, right?
Yeah.
But I had football scholarships and all that stuff, you know what I mean?
That's
And
cool.
then, yeah, it was cool. but I also had daddy issues. So I turned out my football scholarship down, and then I just gained a bunch of weight, right?
Okay.
But I was always good. And from freaking elementary all the way up to like high school, I was good. And I had scholarship offers and all the different things I did. I was going to college, right? But because I didn't like pursue it 100% because I had kids and stuff like that, right? I always had this weird, what's the word? I felt left out. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I didn't actually pursue my career.
Yeah.
But I will say this: being active in sports throughout my adolescence into high school is what made me get back into fitness at some point in time. So you think that's a good correlation? Like the fact that you're doing it now as a grown adult out of school, the fact that you played sports, helped you out.
1,000%. Okay, and I thank my mom like all the time.
Did she make you play sports?
Well, no, she didn't make us, but she knew when we were young, like y'all have to get into something. Like y'all have a lot of energy. So my mom always like would sit us down, like, what do you want to do? Like, do you want to, be in cheer? Do you want to play soccer? Do you want to play volleyball? And the very first thing I ever did, I wanted to cheer. I was like, I want to cheer. So she put me in cheer, but I love that she took like, okay, cool, and rolled with it and like let me try new things and experiment with things that I liked and disliked. And so I don't know, it was really cool like having that upbringing, and I think it really also helped with my confidence as a kid. And honestly, I can't thank my mom enough, dude. Like I'm so blessed. Like I love you, mommy. I love you.
Yeah, so let me ask you this though. So would you say that now that you're in the profession, do you see people that are really into it, that they always had a background in fitness and they were forced, not forced, they play sports and everything like that? Do you think that's a real thing, a correlation?
I definitely do, because I think a part of you always likes a challenge, likes, and for me, don't get me wrong, I loved sports, but I realized very quickly, like, I don't like relying on other people. And I played a lot of team sports like volleyball and basketball. And it's like, I'm giving my all, but I can't make sure that you are, or that you are, or that you are. And that part I didn't like. Yeah. So when I did, not a team player. So I mean, if you're going to pull your own anthem the way I am, hell yeah. We're going to be a great team. Right. But if not, then no, I'd much rather be by myself, because I know that I'm not going to make an excuse. I'm going to always make sure that I'm hitting the mark as best as I can, right? So I really, I...
I'm not a team player.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I mean, but I just... Because it still takes a team to do what you're doing.
It definitely does. It does. And it takes support and from other people. And no, 1,000%. So it's just a little bit different. A little bit different.
Let me ask you this. I know I'm kind of fast forwarding just a little bit, but because you seem like you've always been fit. Was there ever a moment? I think I saw one picture where you were not like in bodybuilding shape. So when was your like out of shape moment when you got it back together?
So actually, I have photos from about maybe 17, 18. I started, like, I was in a relationship for maybe like from 16 for about 5-6 years after that. So in that time, I definitely gained some weight. So by the time I was 18 and I graduated, like I was pushing maybe 180 and around 19 years old too. Okay. And so that's kind of when I just like, I'm not going to hit 200. Like that just kind of like, whoa, like I've never been this big before. Like, what am I doing? And I just kind of... 19 when I was like, so right after high school, I was pushing about 180 and I was like, dang, I was like, no, I was like,
what was happening? Like what?
To be honest, I mean, I was just in a bad relationship. I can say that for about 5-6 years. So I really didn't know myself. I kind of lost myself. And I think I found a lot of comfort in food. And so I just kind of, that was my crutch for a while. So it was, but when I finally, got my footing and I really started going to the gym, like I had lost some weight. And then again, I told you I prayed about it, got my coach. With her and being like starting off bodybuilding, I learned that I had a little bit of an eating disorder. Like I kind of like, I would do the diet for a while and then I would just binge. I'd be like, I'm hungry. I want this. I'm tired. Like, and it was like, oh my gosh. And so I kind of yo-yoed for a little bit. For maybe about a year or so. And like, it took me, I tell everybody, like it took me at least a year and a half to get the diet portion of being a bodybuilder correct.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Let me pause you real quick. We got a question. Yeah.
So, hello. There we go.
Hey.
Okay. So this is a question from me specifically, because I really want to know how, did like the perspective of yourself and how did other people perceive you before versus after you were fit? How did that change, like
Yeah.
just in everyday life?
So, it definitely, at first, when people started first seeing me lose weight, I feel like they were really like motivated and like, oh, great job, good job, da, da. And then I hit a certain point where I feel like it kind of switched in certain people. Like maybe it became a little bit more jealous, maybe a little bit more envy, but it's like, and that really sucked. And what was weird is that I noticed that a part of me was like such a people pleaser. Like I would regain a little bit of weight and they would feel more comfortable and I would feel more comfortable. And I was like, fuck, like, but I really don't want that. Like, so it just took a lot of mental kind of healing and realizing what is it that I'm accepting and believing about myself that like I'm allowing this to continue to happen. And like, so, and then I had to realize like, no, like actually I should be getting rid of some of these people out of my life. Like, and once I started to kind of do that, it allowed more space for people who truly saw me to be around me and to, find my own tribe. So, it took a little bit of time, but I feel like it's, you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but like the ones that you're meant to influence and to help, like they will see you.
Facts.
And they will resonate with you.
That's true, 100%. I'm gonna tell you one story that I remember.
Please.
When, because I've been through this at least 5 times now, and I tell you, this is the only reason I'm really good at what I do, because I've been big, I've been small, I've been big, I've been
Same.
small. And that's the part I want people to see. I want people to understand that, right? Because they see you now, and they'll go through your pictures. They'll be like, "Oh my God, I'll say, no. There is a phase where it's like, no, man, I was fat. You know what I'm saying? I was really, really fat, right? So, and I tell people, I've been banned so many times from TikTok and all that stuff. But anyway, I can say it on my show. But because it's the truth. I have to face my own truth, which is like I grew up with fat people in my family, right? And it was normal. You know what I mean? So it was like, oh, you big, so you fine. You know what I mean? And
you eat good.
You eat good, right? And so I had to separate myself slowly but surely, because then I realized is that they were accepting of me being big. And as soon as I started changing, then all of a sudden it became, oh, I was little Ricky because I'm a junior, right?
Yeah.
So little Ricky is becoming this fitness guy, right? And then same just like you. I realized that when I grow up in my family, I feel uncomfortable. So I would eat all the time, ignore my workouts and just gain weight. So I went from 400 to 200, back up to 320, back down to 280, back up to 300 again. And then that's when I went to 280 and I got serious. I was like, this is just stupid, bro. Like, just stop.
Yeah.
And I just started cutting people off, right? Because mentally, like I said, if you grow up around a bunch of people who just accept you being average, then you're like, this is normal.
Yes.
No, it's not. It is not normal at all. So let me ask you this. So when you realized you were getting closer to 200 pounds, right? What was the like aha switch? What was the like, this is it, like I have to change right now? What was it? Was it just weight? Was it just yourself, self appearance, or what was it?
Yeah, honestly, my self appearance and like my weight, like I think that was the wake up call. Like I'm about to hit 200. Like Vanna, you've never been 200 in your life. Like, and I was like, whoa, like I don't know. It honestly was that. It just, and it really, like I saw myself and I was like, well, what are you doing, Vanna? Like, and I started to have more like conversation with myself. Like, oh my gosh, like, and I think a part of me too just didn't see it, how quickly like it happened.
Right.
And like I said, just that one day, I don't think I had gone on the scale for a while. And so when I did, it was just like, whoa, like that was the wake up call that I needed. That's all I needed to see.
Right. So let me ask you this question, because we've been there, right? Why do you think the average person don't see it? It's like sooner than later. Because I've seen people that go from 180 pounds and all of a sudden 3 years later they're 300 pounds. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't see it. Why do you think people don't see the weight? What is the distraction that people have?
I mean, to be honest, I think one, you get comfortable and then we start to just kind of like, oh, okay, well, if these shorts don't fit, I'll just buy another pair, right? So then we just kind of, I think we just adapt and think that that's a little normal too. But also too, it's so funny. I blamed my family. I was like, y'all didn't tell me I was fat. I was like, nobody told me. Like, and it's so funny. My brother's like, I thought you knew. Like, I was like, oh no. But honestly, I think a part of it is just that we just get comfortable, and that's also a hard conversation to have. Like, how do you tell your friend, like, hey, dude, like, you're gaining a little weight. Like, I care about you. Like, they might be mad at you, and so it might be easier to maybe not, right? So I think it's just. A little bit of everything. We just don't want to hurt each other's feelings. I know it probably comes from a good place, but yeah, I think it's easy to just kind of like, It's okay.
put us to
They
the back
probably
burner.
know.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and you just let it go.
Do you actually tell your family members, but if they're like, if you tell your family members like, hey, you're overweight, you're unhealthy?
I won't say it that way, but I will
How will
definitely
you say
just
it?
kind of
Yeah,
be
yeah.
like, hey, like, do you like, just kind of like, if I see them kind of eating a little something, like, hey, do you want maybe a glass of water instead? Or like, hey, I mean, I honestly would just kind of like, they know me right at this point.
Right.
Or I'll just kind of, or they'll ask me questions about nutrition and things like that. So I'm like, okay, cool. Then we can start to kind of like, okay, well, tell me what you eat and things like that, right? Then that makes it a little bit easier in that setting.
Right.
But honestly, too, a lot of my family members, unfortunately, here and there are having to take like different medications to help with like, so it's kind of like at that point, it's like, okay, well, the doctor did say exercise and nutrition, like, and I'm always here, like, and I'll just kind of plant that little seed. So I do the best with my family. Yeah. I'm always loving about it.
Good.
I know it hurts. It can.
Hello.
Yes.
With that,
Mhm.
how does like, I guess, gender play a role? Because when like a woman is fat versus like a man is fat, how society and family like reacts to that? Like, Rickey, for you, how did people react, and how is it different from like Vanessa's story and all of that?
100%. I want you to bring it home after this, but I'm gonna say, because I was gonna ask you earlier, because I know for a fact that when men are fat, I'm just gonna call a spade, say what it is, right? It's in my era, it was kind of normal. Right, it was kind of normal for a guy to be fat. We just kind of poke a little jokes here and there.
Yeah,
it was just, it was fat, right? It was normal. But for a woman to be overweight, and let's just call it, being honest again, there is a certain amount of judgment that comes with a woman being overweight, right? Because for a man, we're visual, right? And we're looking at y'all like, oh, you're attractive and you look great. But then if you're overweight, then it's like, yeah, you're overweight, right? So it's not as attractive. You get judged even harder, right? And then you start getting compared to women who are in shape versus, you, right? You know what I'm saying? But for me, it was very normal to be overweight, right? The change happened when I really got into fitness and got to bodybuilding, right? I started losing weight. Then there was like people, that's why I hated when people say stuff like this. They were like, oh, you're getting too skinny. Like, what? Like, like, shut up. Like,
that was annoying.
Like, people say you get too skinny. Like, do you realize I was 400 pounds and unhealthy? Like, I was dying, like literally, right?
You didn't tell me I was too fat then?
Yeah, I was like, but now I'm too skinny. And it's a problem.
And it's a problem.
So I learned over my years now, I just tune certain people out when they say things that don't line up with my truth, right? And I had to be honest. I look at you and I'm like, so I'm too skinny, right? All right, but I see you're on blood pressure medicine, you're overweight, you're out of shape, you're unhealthy, unhappy. Okay, I'm not listening to you, right?
Exactly.
Right. So, and for women, I grew up around a lot of women, right? So I do have a soft spot for women and their health, right? So I know that the mental complications comes along with the physical complications as well too. Like, you're physically overweight, you're unhealthy, unhappy, you're not as attractive to the masses, right? But then mentally, that plays a huge role on the mindset because you're an emotional woman, right? So you feel like you're being judged on a consistent basis, right? So, and to sum it all up, is like, for men, it's kind of okay back in the day, but now I noticed that men are judging other men really, really hard. Like,
I'm noticing that too.
Like, men we like, hey bro, you fat, stop. But I can talk to my people like that, right? So it's a big difference. What about yourself?
No, I definitely agree that it is a big difference. I mean, I feel like guys are, like you said, judged a little less harshly for being overweight, and girls, it's like, oh, you're lazy, you're fat, like, oh, you're not pretty, or things like that. Like, it just becomes like more of an attack on identity in a sense at that way too. So it can kind of be challenging to undo that, but it's like, once you start to, I feel like, honestly, undo those limitations and do the things that we were told, right? Because honestly, weight, you can always change. I remember I got bullied for being chubby, and my mom, she's so sweet. She's like, oh, honey, she's like, if you wanted to lose a little bit of weight, like, you can always lose a little weight. We can pack you some lunch. She's like, but you are gorgeous and you are so smart. And she just reminded me of all the good qualities I have, right? And so I feel like as a woman, you have to be so in love with yourself to be okay with that type of judgment. And honestly, you'll always be judged. But if it doesn't match what I think about myself, that's never going to bother me. So it's like, As long as I'm working on what I think about myself and my self-concept, like all those things start to just kind of disappear. Like expectations of what? Because I only have expectations of myself and what I want. So I definitely have been there, and where I've felt just like, oh my gosh, like I'm like a piece of meat in a sense, like, right? But it's like, no, like I have to remind myself, like, I'm Vanessa, I'm funny, I'm nice, I'm caring, I'm, I'm a great friend, I'm a great partner, like I'm a great coach, like I'm so much more than just my body. And I feel like as a woman, you just have to have that self-love and self-reassurance and concept so strong, especially in this type of field.
Let me ask you a quick question. Like how did you get to that point? So let's just do this right quick, because there was a switch when you were overweight and gaining weight, and then you took that switch to be like, nah, I got to get it right.
Yeah.
Then there's another switch now where you're just like, screw what people think. This is what I got to do with myself. Like, what was that switch? And then how do somebody else get to that point? How does somebody else get to that point?
Honestly, I feel like it took a little bit of time, just kind of one with experience. As I'm getting older, I'm also seeing, okay, what I'm made of in different and hard situations, right? So things that I thought were going to break me, things that I thought like, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to get out of this situation. Like being able to surpass it, it's like, oh my God, like I'm so cool. Like I'm literally doing this. I'm doing well, right? So building those kind of self-confidence as you go, which takes time. But two, also I think celebrating the wins as you go. And the small things, like I said, I used to have an eating disorder. I had to tell like, okay, if let's say I would do the diet really, really well for a few weeks, and then I would have like 3 days, let's say I'd binge eat. I would just like, I would be like, damn, Vanya, like you did that shit again. Like I'd have to talk to myself and like, okay, well, let's get back up on that horse and let's try again. And I would go, let's say this time I did 4 weeks doing well and I only binged eat 2 days. I caught myself. I'd be like, you know what, Vanya, we got an extra week that you did well and we stopped it a day before. Like you're getting better. Like you're getting better. And I'd have to just, I'm getting better. I'm getting better. Every day I'm getting better. And like, just little by little, and as I can cross things off that I've overcome, like that just gives you more and more confidence. And it's like, you can't tell me anything about me.
So you're literally laying bricks, and
brick by brick,
going threshold and judging based on last week's performance, which is great. You had a question, Bella? I can tell you had a question. Oh, okay. You had your mic. Sorry, but being able to look at your wins, right, and then go back and be like, okay, like you said, I messed up for a whole 5-6 days straight. But this time, right, I only messed up 2 days.
And I caught it. I was able to, hey, and hold myself like, hey, Vanessa, this is where we need to stop. Like, we're not going to keep going.
So do you think, not even think at this point, you're a professional at your career now. Oh, matter of fact, let me ask you this. So when did you go from like fitness, just being fit, into like, I'm going to be a bodybuilder?
Like about 7 years ago, like I said, when I made that, when I prayed, like I had gone to the gym consistently. I was tracking my own macros and doing my own meal plan. And I was like, I want more. Like, what is it? Like, and I met her and I didn't even know about bodybuilding. And my coach was in prep for competition when we met. So I got to see all her changes. And I was like, oh my God, every day she looked a little bit different, a little bit better, a little bit. And like, it was cool because she really took me under her wing and kind of mentored me. I hung out with her about 5 days a week. She trained me every single day. Like we were best friends. And so, I really like, I feel blessed to have had that experience.
What would you say is the most complicated thing about becoming a bodybuilder?
The most complicated thing, honestly, probably maybe going through the different phases, like bulking, cutting, things like that. I used to always want to be a little bit leaner, which was cool until it's like, okay, Vanna, but we got to put on more size, especially for like, let's say wellness or something like that.
Let me pause you right quick because I need you to answer this question, right? Right. Because I need people to understand the difference, especially you being this is your profession now. The difference between bulking, okay, and cutting, right? And then that mindset when somebody is like, okay, I'm putting on weight, right? Versus I'm getting fat. Right? So go ahead and break that down for us right quick.
So, I mean, bulking, I'm going to be, when you bulk, you're going to be in a surplus of calories, and we're working on building building more mass, building more strength. So I'm going to push heavy weight. I'm going to utilize those calories because I'm going to recover better because I have more calories, right? So I really enjoy bulking, but I do have to have a different mind phase going into it. I'm like, okay, Vanya, like I am going to get a little bit fuller. I might feel a little bit more uncomfortable, but I'm a lot stronger. I can lift heavier. I think about the positives that the
Right.
bulk gives me, right? I'm
Right,
able to
right, right.
recover faster. Honestly, I'm able to wear certain clothes that I can't fit when I'm really, really lean that I
Yeah.
really like, right? You know, I'm probably warmer because when I'm lean, I'm always cold. Like, and that's
Yeah,
always
right,
nice.
right, right.
Like, there's just different things that I really do enjoy about the bulk. And
Right,
so I'm
right.
like, you know what? Like, I just kind of have to remind myself. And again, it comes back to like, okay, when I felt uncomfortable bulking, it's because I was thinking of what other people were thinking about me. Like, oh, she looks
Mhm.
fat, or oh, she looks. And
Ooh, pause. Ooh, that's good. That's good. That's good. Because
okay,
no, we got to stay right there for a second because we gotta point out two different type of people, right?
Mhm.
Like for instance, myself, somebody who came from being big to small, being big most of my entire life, in fact, overweight my entire life, then going to small, right? And I didn't really understand fully. Like I knew what bulking meant, right? But the mental game that it plays when you
Mhm.
start gaining weight. And you're like your stomach sticking out a little bit more, or again, your cheeks a little more puffier,
Uh-huh.
and telling yourself over and over and over, no, this is part of the process.
Yes.
This is part of the process, right?
Mhm.
So I've had clients before who were very small, right? And they didn't want to gain weight, right? And then they start, I could put them in a surplus, right?
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh my God, I look fat. I was like, that you're not fat.
Yeah.
No, you know what I mean? You're going to put on some weight, right? So the mentality that has to come with it, understanding that this is part of the process,
Mhm.
right? So for the person that you coach, let's give you two different type of people, right? The
Okay.
person that's small, right?
Uh-huh.
They're skinny, for lack of better terms, and need to like lean out, right? What do they need to do?
Someone who's small already and
Yeah,
wants to
they're
lean out. Okay.
skinny, right? And they need to put some lean muscle on,
Okay.
right? Give them the mindset, not just the process, but the mindset they have to go ahead and accept the fact that you're gonna have to eat a lot more and you have to lift a lot more and gain weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would kind of explain to them like, look, this is going to be a process and it's not going to happen overnight. Your body is a machine, but it's an organic one. It's going to take time.
Right.
So, you know, we're going to slowly increase these calories for you. That way we can build more lean muscle. Your performance will be better. Your recovery will be better. So I just kind of remind them of what the goals are. And then it's like, okay, talk to me as much as you need to. If you do feel uncomfortable or things like that, you can always reach out to me. But you know, do know you might gain a little bit of weight. That's all part of the process. You just got to keep going. I was like, because right now you might feel a little bloated, but give it a couple weeks. The body will adjust and be like, oh, this is what I'm going to do with those extra calories. You have to let the body work. Like I said, it's a machine, but it's an organic one and it takes time.
Right. Did you tell that to yourself often when you were?
Dude, all the time. And I'm so
Yeah.
fortunate too to have Ethan as his support, because
Shout out to Ethan,
sometimes
yeah.
yes, because honestly, especially when I first started bodybuilding and he took over, so I actually I had leaned out pretty much and was kind of getting ready for a show, but I didn't end up competing. This was I think in 2020. And then Ethan ended up taking over my nutrition, so I gained weight. I kind of had to in a sense start over, and I felt terrible. I was kind of like a little depressed. I was scared. I was shy. I was like, oh my God, I look so fat. And he just constantly reminded me like, no, like we are building muscle. You are a bodybuilder. You are an athlete. Like this is what you do.
Right.
And I'm so grateful for that, because it's just like, no, you're right. Okay.
Right.
Okay. And it was just like out of sight, out of mind. Like, let me not pay too much attention to those mirrors and let me just get back to work. Like
Facts. Let me get another
yes.
person right quick, because I think this is also necessary for people to understand. Like, so when I went from big to small and then small back to big, right? And then big then small again. Every time I transformed, I did not like the way I looked, right?
Mhm.
Like this last show I did, right? We actually did the show we did together
Yes.
where you went to nationals, right?
Okay, in
yeah,
December.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. But
Okay.
but when every time I lost weight, I did not like the way my body looked. Right, I'm used to being a bigger guy,
Mhm.
right? You know, so every time I got small, my shoulders were like slim,
Small,
my
yeah.
arms were slim, and I was like, I don't feel big, right?
Yeah.
So that's the downside of it. So also for women, so I know as a man, I felt that way. When I got smaller, I was like, oh, I don't like my arms, I like my chest, everything like yeah, right. So let's say to a woman who is overweight,
Okay.
and I hear this often.
For a woman who is overweight,
I don't want to lose my butt. You know what I'm saying? They was like, I don't want to lose my ass. I'm like, I'm being honest, sorry y'all. Not sorry, but sorry.
Yeah.
But if I see somebody who's overweight, right? And I could tell you have no muscle mass and you think you got ass, you don't. Sorry, it's fat.
It's fat.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So for the woman who is overweight and she needs to lose the weight, and she's like, I don't want to lose my ass on my breast. Like, how do you help that particular person out?
I'll just honest. That's kind of what I realized too. Is I won't sugarcoat anything. I'll be like, look, we do want to be in a little bit of a healthier body fat range. So we are gonna be in a deficit. I don't know exactly where this fat will come from. That genetics play a role in it, things like that. But we are gonna do our part in building your legs, building your glutes. And we'll go from there. This is bodybuilding, baby.
So what if she's like? Have you ever had somebody like that who constantly like kick back, like, no, I want to get skinny. I don't want to lift weights. You know what I mean? I get that a lot from women. Like they don't want to lift weights.
I'm really grateful that I actually don't have that part where like, oh, I don't want to lift weights. I think honestly, a lot of the girls who resonate with me are similar to me, where we like to, we have a little bit of, and I love that. Right. I think sometimes it might be a little challenging with the food, but I just again reiterate, like, I am an open book. You have me and you have Ethan. Both you have two trainers in one. So it's been really good, and it's nice that I can also kind of like, okay, well, I have different clients who have done, been in your shoes and have felt where you are. And I have, different testimonials for that too. So honestly, I mean, I think everyone's story is unique, but I really just like this is what I do, and I am living proof that it works. So that's why also too, I talk to them with respect and, with total, like, I'm understanding where you're coming from, but I promise you, I won't set you astray.
There you go.
Like, this is my passion, and it's like, it's we love to do it, and it's science proven. Like, yeah.
Gotcha. So let me ask you this question too. So let's go to a little bit darker and deeper.
Okay.
Now that you're a professional, right?
Okay.
People see you, they look at you, right? Are you looked at different? Like you said earlier, like, I'm a piece of meat. You know what I mean? Like, when people look at you and like, oh my God, I want you so bad because you're extra fit and you're this and that and the other. Like, do you get that more? Or
what's funny is yes, and I feel like maybe for a little bit it bothered me, but it was also because I was like, oh well, I think I was just giving it too much power, and it's like, well, if I kind of just let that go, like, it really doesn't have anything to do with me. And it's like, dude, like, when guys are thirsty or whatever, it's like, oh, all you could ever do is look. Like, you could never talk to me. You could never, because also I'm not going to talk to someone who disrespects me like that.
Gotcha.
Like, just naturally, like, and I just hold myself to a different standard that also those type of people tend to naturally not come up to me. They'll just, they can only watch.
That's what's up. Mm-hmm. What do you now? What are your final goals in bodybuilding? What do you want to accomplish? What's your thing?
Yeah, no. So right now I'm going to compete in 6 weeks, and I'm going for my pro card, NPC Nationals in Pittsburgh, and I'm super excited, dude. That's honestly right now my first goal is to get my pro card. From there, after that, I may take about a year off just to kind of build, and also to just kind of enjoy life. Like I've told you, I've been consistent bodybuilding for like 7 years now, with training for at least 10 with nutrition. Like, I don't actually eat outside of my nutrition unless told by my coach. So I want just a little bit of life. I kind of thought about this the other day to Ethan. I was like, dang, I've lived a huge portion of my life being this way, and I'm so fortunate for it, but I'm ready for another small little chapter. Like, I want to travel with him. I want to do things like that. And then I want to then qualify for the Olympia.
There you go. That's what's up. All right, so we got a pro card, then we're going to chill out for a while, then get back on.
Yes, but you always know I'm working. Oh, like, you always know, the gym is my life.
That's what's up. So this is the part I don't like. It's almost over already.
But I went by so fast.
I told you. All right, so give us your final thoughts about today's show, some topics, and then also how can we find you on social media? Final thoughts.
My final thoughts. I mean, honestly, my final thoughts would be really just, like, I guess if I could give any piece of advice, would really just be focusing on yourself and your self-concept and your self-worth. I think that if you put that in the forefront, everything else will kind of fall into place, and you will realize that things aren't as serious as you really think that they are, right? Like, we're just looking at them through trauma lenses. But once we clear those out, it's like, oh, life is really great and life is really beautiful. And even when bad things happen, like, I can learn from it and do better. Like, and so I don't know. I love bodybuilding for everything that it's taught me, and I don't know. I can't wait to just kind of see what more it kind of does for me, what more opportunities it brings. Y'all can find me on my TikTok or on Instagram. I'm Lift with Vanessa on both. And yeah.
Okay, awesome. Dope. Like I said, guys, I knew it was going to happen. It just happens. We just go and you flow and it's almost over. But I hope you guys have enjoyed today's show. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you follow Vanessa. You know, man, here's another thing. I got to leave you guys with this. We talked about a lot of different things, and I hope you guys were able to take some notes and get some bullet points. But at the end of the day, life is your choice. You get to pick and choose what you want to do with it, right? Bodybuilding teaches you to be very disciplined. It teaches you to be intentional with your energy, number one, because you can't waste a whole lot of time, right? It gives you goals and different things to follow, right? So I know I got into it because I wanted to be extremely disciplined so I could take that same concept and apply it to life and everything else, right? So it doesn't mean everybody has to be a bodybuilder, but you got to get into that mindset, right, of being disciplined and very consistent over and over and over. And if you need my help, I'm here for you. You need Vanessa's help, she's here for you as well. See you guys next week. Peace out.
Awesome.